Do not judge too quickly. A quick judgment is like cutting a bud before it blooms. Be patient. Perhaps its beauty is yet to come. Do you think you can understand everything just by looking at the surface? Wait a moment. This story may change your mind. On a quiet green farm, beside a few fig trees and a narrow stream, two kind pigeons lived together. All the animals on the farm knew them for their kindness and calmness. They sat on branches during the day, sang softly, and pecked at the grains in the field. In that peaceful corner, they had a nest they had built with great effort. Not very big, but warm and safe. When spring arrived, light and heavy rainfalls came one after another. Sometimes the rain was so strong that the drops hit the roof of the nest like small stones. One day, the female pigeon said sadly, "Oh, the roof is leaking again. Why is this nest always so damp? This place is not good to live in anymore."
The male pigeon, who had just found a few grains and was tired, asked in surprise, "You want to change our nest right now? In this rain?" The female pigeon sighed and said, "No, but this nest does not make me feel safe. When I sleep, my wings feel cold. Do you not feel the same?" The male pigeon laughed cheerfully. "No, my dear. Just wait. When summer comes, everything will dry out. The weather will improve. We will sleep comfortably again. And also," he paused and continued, "building a new nest that is big and has a storage room is not easy. Remember how hard we worked to build this one?" The female pigeon nodded. Her heart was still uneasy, but she said nothing. She only whispered, "Do you really think summer will fix everything?" The male pigeon answered confidently, "Yes, trust me." So they stayed in the same nest. When summer arrived, the weather became hot and dry. The nest stopped leaking, and the female pigeon said happily, "The nest is dry and comfortable now." The male pigeon smiled proudly. "I told you it would get better. We only needed a little patience." They flew around the farm every day. They found so much rice and wheat that sometimes they felt full and tired from eating. They collected the best grains with excitement and stored them in their small storage room. One day, when the sun was high in the sky, the female pigeon exclaimed, "Wow! Look! The storage room is almost full!" The male pigeon spread his wings happily and said, "Wonderful! We will not be hungry this winter. Look how much food we have." They danced around each other joyfully and closed their little storage room. After that, they did not check it again. They told themselves, "It is summer now, and there are plenty of grains everywhere." But summer does not last forever. Gradually the leaves turned yellow. Cold winds began to blow. Autumn rains arrived. Finding grains became difficult. The female pigeon was not feeling well these days. She was a bit weak and could not fly much. The male pigeon left the nest every day, sometimes flying for hours to find even a few small grains for his wife. One rainy day, when both were tired and hungry, the female pigeon said, "Do you remember our storage? Maybe it is time to look at it." The male pigeon smiled. "Yes, of course. Let us check it now." They both went to the storage room. But as soon as they opened the door, they saw something unbelievable. The amount of grain had decreased. There was much less than the day they had closed it.
The male pigeon exclaimed in shock. This is impossible! Where did the grains go?" He narrowed his eyes, turned angrily to his wife, and said, "You ate them, didn't you? You ate them all." The female pigeon drew her wings close to her body in surprise. "Me? Never! I did not eat any." The male pigeon raised his voice. "Do not lie. You stayed home for days. I was not here. It was just you and all those grains. Did you forget about winter? The freezing weather? Why were you so careless?" The female pigeon froze. She did not know what to say. Quietly, she said, "Why are you talking like this? I did not touch the storage, not even one grain. I swear." But the male pigeon interrupted. "Stop it. I do not believe you." The female pigeon, now worried and trembling, said, "Let us think. Maybe the floor of the storage collapsed. Maybe mice came. Maybe someone stole the grains. You should not judge so quickly." The male pigeon shouted, "No, no one was here except you. I do not want excuses." The female pigeon stepped back. Her heart broke. She said softly, "Why are you so angry? Why do you think I betrayed you?" The male pigeon, boiling with anger, said, "Leave the nest. I do not want to hear your voice any more." With tears in her eyes, the female pigeon replied, "You will regret this, but it will be too late." She flew out without looking back, heading toward the desert. The wind was cold, and she was tired and sad. A few hours later, she was caught in a hunter's trap. Meanwhile, the male pigeon stayed in the nest. He thought to himself, "It is good she left. If she had stayed longer, she would have eaten all the grains." He continued his life proudly and confidently. But days passed. The rain grew heavier. The air became colder. Then something strange happened. One day, during a heavy rainfall, he decided to check the storage again. He opened the door and froze. The grains had increased. They looked bigger and fuller. The storage was almost full. He whispered in fear, "How? How is this possible? Can grains?" Suddenly, he remembered. In summer, the heat had dried the grains and made them shrink. Now, in the wet and rainy weather, they had absorbed moisture and become bigger again. They were the same grains. Nothing had been lost. The male pigeon buried his head under his wings and cried, "Oh, what a mistake I made! How wrongly I judged her! She was right!" His voice broke. "I wish I had believed her. I wish I had waited. I wish I had not been angry." But it was too late. His wife was gone, and he never knew she had been trapped and would never return. Days and nights passed. He lived alone with only the sound of wind and rain. Sometimes he sat on a branch and asked in a trembling voice, "Why did I not wait? Why did I not ask myself if there might be another reason? Why did I not listen?" Regret weighed heavily on his heart and stayed with him for the rest of his life. And this is how two pigeons, once happy and full of joy, were separated forever, only because of a hasty judgment. Maybe if the male pigeon had waited just a little longer, maybe if he had thought before becoming angry, maybe if he had asked himself even once, "Could I be wrong?" their fate would not have turned so bitter. Before you accept someone's words, blame someone, or make a decision based on sudden emotions, be patient. Sometimes a moment of anger can lead to a lifetime of regret.
Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please subscribe to our channel and share it with your friends. We will meet again with a new story and a new lesson and a new hope.